In this video, I want to talk about what I believe is the best business model for your agency and or online service business. If you want profitability, predictability, keeping things lean and optimizing for cash flow, but also still being positioned to be able to exit if you want. So let's dive in. Welcome back, guys. Greg here with Alt Agency. We train agency owners, service providers on the latest strategies and systems around how to connect with the market and capture leads, how to convert those leads into prospects and paying clients, and how to serve those clients at scale, and all of the back office systems and operations to build a team and a business that can run without you. So here's the deal. We've worked with over 500 agency owners, expert freelancers at this point, and I come from agency world. If you've followed me long enough to know that, I've had my own agency and now run Alt Agency, where we are a training and implementation business. And I feel like we're in a world right now where you have agency providers, service providers on one side, where you see a lot of things are done for you, custom, one-on-one, etc. List off the things that you associate with service, and the rise of e-learning, online courses, info businesses, and this market is growing very quickly. Coaching as an industry is up, e-learning is up 2.5x, and that's not going anywhere anytime soon. And you've seen the rise of kind of these hybrid business models that fundamentally are meeting somewhere on this bridge in the middle. You have people calling it high ticket, coaching, whatever the next term is. But a lot of them don't talk about the business model that you're actually employing or deploying when you are running a business like this. And so I think the benefit and the opportunity, if you are a service provider, a practitioner, and you have a skill and you've been inside of your client's business doing things for them, how can we start looking at how the folks on the e-learning side are doing it and apply some of the principles to our business that make us more desirable for our clients, allow us to better serve our clients, extend the lifetime value of clients. And when you do that, I think you end up having multiple revenue streams. Now, we've talked about kind of the ascension model here on this channel before. You can check out those videos below in the description. But at the end of the day, when you have a specific client and you're solving the problem that they have, by nature, if you solve the one problem, likely you expose them to new problems. And you have the choice to acquire more skills and more knowledge to possibly continue to serve them in new ways. And I think having specifically 3 different types of revenue streams, product offerings, ways to work with clients really weaponizes you to best serve your market. Now, this doesn't mean you're going to have 3 different revenue streams to serve different avatars. That's where you could go wrong. But if, like for us, how do we look at solving their problems, your problems, through these lenses that would require us to and enable us to help you in a variety of capacities that are good for us and also good for you? And it kind of brings to mind this notion of meet your client where they are at and help them with what they actually need help with as it relates to your expertise. And so first and foremost, we do need to have a core service. So I'm going to write core service here. Now, your core service could be where you do it for them. It could be a done for you play. It could be we're going to build things like a brand strategy or a funnel or a website. This is more likely tied to a little bit more to your labor, but there are ways to have your core offer be all thinking or all consulting. But we have our core service. It helps our client do a specific thing, A to B, in a certain amount of time. Now, once we deploy that thing, we want to probably be able to upsell, resell, serve our client in new ways or ways that allow them to maybe optimize, customize the thing that we just did inside of our core service. And another really common revenue stream here that I've obviously talked about on this channel is training, consulting, coaching. And this could be done in one-off projects or even in a recurring revenue fashion. I just saw a study that said 40+% of executives have a coach, and that number is continuing to rise. The number of businesses investing in training and coaching is growing, both because they want the knowledge in-house, they want to get training for their team, or they need to acquire new methodologies and new systems inside their business. So as a person who knows how to build websites, funnels, brand strategy, whatever your skill set is, there are ways you can package up working with clients that benefit both you and them. And again, we have our core service offer, we have the training and consulting, and then you even have, products. This could be courses, this could be a book, this could be workshops, things like that. And so we have 3 different ways we could be making money. And the skills you have, oftentimes the byproduct, say there are things that you do inside your core service that you can show someone how to do. And there's things inside your core service that you could probably just give to someone and they can do it themselves. This is where we see the whole sell your byproduct concept come from. Now, the beauty in this, I believe, is that down here you have your core service. Depending upon how customized it is, there's probably a certain amount of capacity that you have for that, which means it's probably a low volume play, a higher price, because it's high labor. But as you move up to training and consulting and coaching and you're packaging your intellectual property into a curriculum, which I've talked about the 3C framework before, I'll link that up in the description, where you actually start creating leverage inside of your delivery, you move up into an area where you kind of have more medium volume and more medium labor instead of high labor. And at the top, we have products. I mean, there's no fulfillment tied to people reading your book, or if you do a virtual workshop that's on demand or a course, obviously you can serve a lot more people and you have an offering that's high volume with low labor or effort rather. And now you have a product suite. Again, main caveat is that all of these align to serving your ideal avatar, your ideal market. Not I have a course for one market, I have a service for another market. This works really well when you're doubling down on the person you serve and you have different ways to serve those people. Now, depending upon where you're at in revenue, you don't need all of these all at once. It is not wise or recommended. We see our clients roll out and dial in their core service. You can get your core service to high 6 and 7 figures. Then you would roll in your training and consulting. And lastly, if you need and or want, you can roll in products. And over time, you have 3 income streams that apply to different scenarios. Let me give you an example. We have a client. He works with e-com brands on how to harness influencers. And so over the course of 90 days, his core service is, hey, we can actually go get you 100 influencers to do user-generated content for your offer. If they have an in-house marketing team, his agency is way less desirable because they have labor and staff in-house that they can harness to do that. But that team might be too junior, which is often the case in his situation. So they're like, well, we don't need you to do it for us. We have these people in-house. And so when he rolled out his training and consulting option here, which expanded his market to not only the ideal avatar that needs this done, but the avatar that has some in-house talent, but just needs to know what to do, they can now show that client's marketing team how to do it. And they remove themselves from the labor piece, but they can give the playbooks, the strategy, the step-by-step, and they enable the client to do it internally, which, by the way, his ideal client, they always hit that point. At some point, even he believes it is smart to bring it in-house. So if he's successful in his agency, his client's going to bring it in-house. If he doesn't have a way to help his client bring it in-house, the relationship is over. But if he's successful and the client wants to bring it in-house, he can now say, hey, we can train and consult and guide your team on rolling this out and be there to guide them through this process. And what that's doing is extending the lifetime value of that client and building on that relationship. They would have been let go because we need to bring it in-house, or you can just accept the fact that that's going to happen at some point and you can enable them to do it and show them that you can be that expertise and have a plug and play system to do that for your business. That's just one example of dozens that we have from our own clients. But back to the point, if you're building an agency or an online service business and you only make money through your done for you or your customized services and you are already at capacity and you're not hitting the income goals or even the work hour goals that you have set out for yourself, it might be a good time to look at how you can take on more clients with an alternative revenue stream that aligns with your current avatar, your current ideal market, that will allow you to make more money serving less clients. And now you're not exposed to the consequences of the economy or a pandemic where people freak out and they're like, hey, we want to bring this in-house. Well, now you can weaponize them in certain ways, or hey, we have these products or courses that you can monetize, that you now are more diversified in your income. The beauty in this, guys, is that as a small, lean and mean team, you only need so many clients clients in each of these categories. It's not uncommon to look at it and say, okay, over the course of a year, getting in the thousands clients to buy a product or a book, hundreds to buy your training, and dozens to buy your core service. Looking back to the traditional agency model, if that's your background or what you've been modeling, most traditional agencies, especially the Omnicoms, the big boys, they have 10 to 20 clients a year that they really work with that are 6 and 7 figure deals. So they don't have hundreds of clients. So if you're playing that game but you're only charging a $1,500 a month retainer, you're gonna have more clients than you can handle while still not having enough profit and margin. And so having 3 income streams, I believe, for any sort of online service provider, if you're building a business where you have a skill, you're a practitioner, and you've been out down this agency route or expert freelancer route, this is the best model for most of us. In my opinion, it's worked for us and, again, a lot of our clients. So take this with a grain of salt. There are some of you that probably have a situation where you want to go the traditional route, and that's totally fine. You do you. I just want to share what's working for us and expose you to new opportunities and ways to build a business that you love showing up to and that serves you, not the other way around. Again, check out the other videos that I mentioned in and around this topic, linked up in the description or somewhere on the screen now, and we'll see you in the next one.